Hello there, one and all, and thank you very much for tuning in to episode 492 of Love at First Scent with me, Persolaise, live on YouTube as always. We are 8 episodes away from number 500. Pause for thought. Anyway, regardless of whether you're watching the live or you're watching the recording, you're very, very welcome. If you enjoy the video, please think about giving it a thumbs up because that is very, very helpful. And if you haven't already subscribed to this channel, please do consider doing so. If you'd like to find out how you can support my work, you should be able to see a link to my Ko-fi page in the video description below. First comment goes to Jeff, who says, Cilantro 39. Yes, thank you very much. You say coriander, I say coriander or something. Ilias says, hello again, everyone. Yasu. Tina says, I don't really seem to click with Le Labo so far. Well, I don't think you're the only one there, but I think also a lot of people do really, really and truly click with it. Dennis says, hello once again, all back for round 2. Enjoy some of these, but man, the pricing is, well, you know. Yes, thank you very much for reminding me. For those of you watching live, this is going to be the second and final video for today. And I should say, Monday, 16th September, the day after tomorrow, please try to tune in at 5 p.m. UK time for a live interview with Carlos Hubert, founder of and creative director at Arquiste. Very, very exciting because I've been aware of the brand from day one and I've interviewed him in the past, but never live on the channel. And we've finally been able to make it happen. So it should be a good one. Please try to tune in if you can. Spaced Out says, I clicked with Le Labo very well, mostly the darker, heavy scents. Blue Reddin says, I love the smell of freshly ground coriander and don't know many fragrances that feature it prominently. Well, I don't think this is one of them. Gino says, I enjoyed this release, but not so much the price. Okay, let's have a chat about this. It's in the world of Le Labo, or in the corner of the world of Estee Lauder that is Le Labo, because of course Le Labo for many years has been an Estee Lauder brand, and the original founders have since moved on and are doing other things. I'm not quite sure what they're doing, but as far as I'm aware, they're not involved with Le Labo anymore. But in the world of Le Labo, September is city exclusive month. Very, very quickly, for those of you who may not be aware, Le Labo have got a main range of perfumes which are available all year round at all their outlets and all their boutiques. Evan, thank you very much. Having a morning coffee on my balcony in Maui. That, please tell me it's raining. Actually, no, I hope it's really, really beautiful. That's very, very generous. Thank you very much. Hope you're great. I am. Thank you very much. We'll have to watch these back over later. They will be here waiting for you, Evan. Enjoy your coffee. So there is a main range, but there is also a city exclusive range. And for most of the year, each city exclusive perfume is available only in the city to which it belongs. So like today's one, Coriander 39, or Coriandre 39, I suppose, is a Mexico City exclusive. But for once a year, all of the city exclusives are available everywhere. In August, you can order samples of them, little vials, and then in September, you can buy full bottles, and then that's it. If you don't live in the city that has the city exclusive, you have to wait until next September to be able to buy it. But I think I'm right in saying that if you already have a bottle of a city exclusive, you can take it to any boutique to have it refilled. Dushan, that's very, very kind. What's that currency? RSD. Congratulations to Rich Mitch on 3,000 subscribers. Oh, well done, Rich. We'll have to go over there. And has he done a celebratory video? Well done, Rich. And Dushan, I've forgotten. What's that currency? Is it a Romanian currency? I don't know, but thank you very much. Ellie says not every boutique can do refills. Taiwan doesn't refill in any of its boutiques, sadly. Interesting. Shouldn't it be cilantro for Mexico, says Gavin. Well, we can have that discussion another time. So I ordered these little samples of 5 of the city exclusives. I wanted to get a sample of the brand new one, of the coriander, so I did. And as I was putting in an order, and And because of some generous coffee donations, I was able to stretch to 4 more samples, because these, these aren't cheap, and these certainly aren't cheap either. It's, it's £10 a vial, which I mean, I think £10 is a lot for, what is it, 2 mils of perfume. But anyway, I thought to myself, okay, the folks have been generous with coffees, and you've been generous with super chats. So I thought, let's do 5. Let's do some that we haven't talked about before. So we're also going to have a chat with about the Gaiac scent, about Aldehyde 44, Poivre 23, Vanilla 44, and then we will revisit the Dubai scent, the Cuir 28, which I reviewed back on the blog when it came out. But I think we should get into it, because if we've got 6 to do, then it's going to take us a little while, and I don't want to be overstaying my welcome. We have pre-sprayed blotters for all of them, as well as a very, very brief press blurb. Big Labo fan, says Perfumed by the Sea. Bought a sample of coriander in the first week of August. I've just sprayed it for the second time. I've forgotten about it. It's not as good as Myrrh 55 or Vanilla 44. I was a fan of last year's exclusive, which was the Shanghai exclusive, the Myrrh 55. I thought that was a really, really nicely done old school chypre type scent, a kind of good companion to their Ylang perfume. The coriander one, Coriander 39, I have smelt already. It falls into the fresh category of scents. Coriander, if you ever smell coriander essential oil, and if you do ever get an opportunity to smell it, then I would urge you to do so. It's a really, really fascinating scent. Perfume chemistry experts and formulators and perfumers, please correct me if I'm wrong, but I think one of the main things that we can smell in coriander oil is linalool, right? Which is kind of woody, kind of spicy, a little bit abrasive, a little bit spiky, but also quite sensuous, quite dark, but diffusive. It's an interesting material. But you don't really get tons of that kind of corianderishness here. What you actually get is a strong citrus note at the top, a sort of woody citrusiness. And I'm blinking because my contact lenses are really bugging me today, so forgive me. I don't know whether my eyes are particularly dry, but anyway. JJ Colborne, hello, just the person. Coriander has a high content of linalool, thank you very much. Much like rosewood, I find the two to have a certain adjacency. Thank you, perfect. I knew somebody would be able to tell me if I was right. Oh, there you go. JJ Colborne confirmed it. Gavin says, I joke with a Chinese friend that in the UK, British restaurants love to stick coriander on food and call it Far Eastern. It has suffered with culinary overuse here, in my opinion. Yes, I mean, I think a little bit of coriander goes a long way. Yeah, so I might be with you on that one. It's very pleasant. I get a pronounced lime note, but maybe because last year's City exclusive was kind of quite a big, buxom, old school chypre, they decided to do what they did 2 years ago when they released the Berlin one, which was the very citrusy one again. And it's fine. It's inoffensive, but it does really feel like the kind of thing we've smelled quite a few times before. And the City exclusives, as you all know, folks, are eye-wateringly expensive. I mean, really and truly eye-wateringly expensive. What do they say about it? They say cilantro. They say cilantro in their press release, okay? But I guess they had to stick to the French name because all of their names are French. The most controversial of all herbs. Some of us can wax poetic about those lacy leaves, and some of us fervently disagree. Need we say more? Yes, actually, we're pretty sure Coriander 39 will surprise you. With the first spritz, a zing of spicy lime and aldehydic cilantro leaves set the stage for quieter, crisp, watery notes to peek through. Fresh green florals enter, then stick around for an intoxicating, musky dry down. It's a sensory experience that teeters between tranquil and vibrant. Think forest bathing in this is going to be a Mexican Spanish name that I won't be able to pronounce. El Bosque de Chapultepec. Oh, sorry, maybe we should wait till Monday and I'll ask Carlos. A piece enriched by call and repeat birdsong or sipping mezcal in the shade at a humming cafe in La Condesa. Okay, I know next to nothing about Mexico. Certainly don't know very much about Mexico City, but maybe they're trying to capture the buzz of the place. Ellie says, from my experience, many Japanese people hate cilantro. They call it pakuchi, borrowed from Thai. I wonder how this is being received there. Good question. For me, the archetypal coriander, says C. Beeble, was the fabulous Paco Rabanne Calandre, which I loved. However, my olfactive memory doesn't stretch back that far. See, I always think of that as a sort of aldehydic rose. Jeff says, still waiting for Le Labo to tackle cumin. Gosh, can you imagine that one? Okay. And very good pronunciation, says Dennis. Well, I'm hoping you're a Spanish speaker. So if you are, I'll take that. Well, where's the pre-sprayed coriander? Here we go. Yeah, it just stays, as they say, actually. I mean, that description of it is pretty accurate. It's kind of green, woody, musky, pleasant and inoffensive. But I don't know. Don't you kind of want more than pleasant and inoffensive when you're paying that amount of money? But anyway, so that's it. This year's City exclusive, I think, is not a must-have. Let's go back in time, and let's go chronologically, because I have got one from 2007, two from 2008, one from 2006 as well, and one from 2012. The 2006 is the Aldehyde 44, which is allocated to Dallas. I don't know why Dallas has to be particularly aldehydic, but there we are. And this was composed by Yann Vanille. I don't know who made the coriander yet. Usually with Le Labo, we have to take a while for, for the grapevine to reveal this information. But here we go. This is Aldehyde 44 for Dallas. And Spaced Out says Aldehyde 44 is sunshine in a bottle, amazing vanilla dry down. Also, Ellie says, I remember when Aldehyde was discontinued because the Dallas boutique closed. Ooh, so does the Dallas boutique not exist anymore? And have they just brought out the scent because they had made it? I know that this one has tons and tons and tons of fans. I think it's extremely pleasant. I agree that it's very, very aldehydic. I mean, shock horror. A Le Labo that actually does really have a prominent dose of the material that it name checks in the name, because you don't often get that with a Le Labo. But I'm not sure why I would ever go for this. Why I would choose this over Chanel No. 5 Eau Première or No. 5 itself, or something like I'm going to say Kalesh, but do I mean Kalesh? Maybe I mean Kalesh. What's the really, really aldehydic Hermes? I think and of course as well, number 22, right? Which is Chanel's Uber aldehyde bomb, which is probably my personal favorite aldehydic perfume, maybe because of the incense note that it contains. But if you are looking for something that is clean almost to the point of being suspicious, like you kind of think, okay, what is it trying to cover up? What sins is it trying to hide? Then you could do a lot worse than Aldehyde 44. Maybe the fact that it is very, very overtly and stridently synthetic and chemical is something that I find just a little bit tough to take. I think maybe I just personally want a touch more humanity, but it makes it interesting, the fact that it's so overtly synthetic. Zam Bowman says Aldehyde 44 is less stuffy than 5 or 22. Okay, interesting. Spaced Out says Eddie said that Tonka 25 was about Atlas cedar, but because of the concentration, it's named after the Tonka note. So the rule is, don't even think about the name to give you clues. No, and you really don't with Le Labo. What do they say about it? Aldehyde 44 is only available in Dallas. The scent is a small wonder, a mix of aldehyde overload that gives a unique cleanliness, a sublime floral composition built around narcissus, jasmine, and tuberose, all absolute, in case you wondered. That's them saying it. And a bed of musk notes, lots of musk notes, with a hint of vanilla. The result is aesthetically admirable and unique. You should know that we receive numerous postcards from perfume lovers that have somehow put their nose on some Aldehyde 44 and are now vacationing in Dallas. Are bad, they say. Oh, yeah, okay. That kind of East Coast try hard cool sometimes is a little bit grating with Le Labo, isn't it? Parth says, Gaiac 10 is probably the only one I'd spend money on. We are going to get to that very, very soon. It's not worth it, okay, but probably because of how unique a statement it is, one of the few cases of them nailing the idea tied to the place down well. Their blurbs are cringe, says Ellie. Let's take a look at the, or have a sniff, I should say, of the pre-sprayed one. Where is my pre-sprayed Aldehyde? That's not it. That's not it. That's not it. This is it. Here we go. Yeah, it's aldehydic and musky. I think maybe I would just wanted something with just one more facet of interest. Would have been very welcome. To me, this reminds me of expensive room spray. You know, sometimes you go into particularly shops in France because as we know, household shops in France are very, very heavily into parfum d'ambiance as well. And there's nearly always one that's meant to be clean sheets. Sometimes they actually even say aldehydic or fluffy clouds or whatever. And this is it. I would have, especially considering that it's coming from Yann Vanille, who's like one of the most talented, interesting perfumers of our times, if not of all time. I would have appreciated just one more facet in there to just intrigue me, rather than this, which is extremely pleasant, but not even in the least bit challenging, if you see what I mean. JJ Colborn says, "Oh dear, why? Oh, tell me, what have I missed something?" This sounds like the olfactory equivalent of Persil White, says Gavin. Yes, it is very much that sort of thing. It's like expensive fabric softener, expensive detergent, expensive candle, expensive room spray, that kind of thing. Very, very definitely. But a lot of people love it, as I say. Okay, next on the list, we have the 2007 release, which is the Vanilla. Again, lots of fans for this one. This is credited to Alberto Morillas, and its home for most of the year is Paris. I guess that makes a sort of sense that Paris gets Vanilla. It's Vanilla 44. By the way, incidentally, in case you're wondering, the number is meant to refer to the number of ingredients in the perfume. I have no idea how stringent Le Labo are with this. JJ says, the response is due to my having an aversion to that approach, which seems to be everywhere at the moment. Okay, I get it. Woozy says vanilla tends to get compared with the benzoin city exclusive, which I'm not that familiar with. Joseph says, vanilla is my signature autumn fragrance, such a beautiful smoky incense. Spaced Out says, vanilla is amazing, beautiful, woody, incensey vanilla lasts all day on me. Vanilla is my favorite of the city exclusives, says Ellie. Oh, okay, that's brilliant. It's obviously struck a chord with you. It is very, very nicely done. It's very nicely done. And what you get is a vanilla which is just lightly woody, lightly incensey, just has the kind of light switch, the dimmer on the light switch toned down a little bit. Shades of like Chanel Chance, things like that, the kind of woody vanillariness of Chanel Chance. But I just don't know how interesting I find it. What is interesting about it is that for an Alberto Morillas release, particularly one from the early part of this century, it's not overloaded with musks. Jeff Sheen says, balsamic, dry, smoky vanilla that I wouldn't reach for knowing what Shalimar costs. Yeah, but although Shalimar is a lot more overtly vanillic, isn't it? A lot more overtly ambery. I love Alberto Morillas as a person, says Gavin, whenever I see him in promos. Okay. David says, I revisited Vanilla 44 via sample the other day, and it just had me feeling grateful. I already have some of the Guerlains that I have. Ooh, okay. Okay. It's nicely done. It's nicely done. What do they say? We all know that Paris is the city of love and hence sex. This is them, by the way. But Paris is also the city of Vanilla 44. We also know by now that our rose doesn't only smell of rose, that our sandalwood doesn't just smell of sandalwood. Well, our vanilla doesn't smell of just vanilla. We would say that this theme is a subtle, ambery, incensey, woody, sexy note that, once acquainted with your premium cashmere sweater, will release the finest of the vanilla bourbons that you've experienced. It's vanilla disguised. Some will say that it is scandalous to release this theme in Paris only. Others will say that it's already too much and will try to ban it in the name of normality, where vanillas smell of vanilla. But tell me, who is normal these days? Yada, yada, yada. I mean, it's nowhere near as scandalous as they're trying to make out. And I think actually I would have appreciated that blurb more if they'd said that they were going for a more toned down vanilla. Where is pre-sprayed vanilla? Pre-sprayed vanilla. There we are. Yes, it's, to me, it's what I sort of usually say in videos when I'm trying to convey this feeling. It's what passes for vanilla. Although no, it's a couple of notches above what passes for vanilla. It's nicely done, but I think we've said on this channel as well in the past that it feels as though Le Labo save their best ideas for their main scents, which I guess kind of makes sense because they're available most of the all the year round, and people can get them anywhere. But then the city exclusives are also a lot more expensive, and there is that kind of the intrigue value attached to the fact that you can only get them once a year. I don't know. Speaking personally, having tried these ones, having spent money on the samples, I'm personally, I'm not tempted to buy any of them. I don't know what would have to happen to tempt me to spend that amount of money on a perfume, but not these ones. Dennis says, not sure about all that from press release, but comparing it to Guerlain vanilla is also questionable. C. Beeble says, is Le Labo under the Lauder Group? Yes, absolutely. I'm sure this is quite contentious, but I've never been drawn to Le Labo. It just comes across as, well, very vanilla. I see what you did there. I mean, it's fine. They're mostly all fine, but they would not make you forsake your soul and, sell a distant relative in hopes of raising money to buy a bottle. So we've done the vanilla. Then we need to do the London exclusive next, which is the pepper. I've no idea why London should be pepper. It's in some ways the least peppery city I can think of, but there we are. The Le Labo folks obviously knew what they were doing. It's Pepper 23, credited to Nathalie Lorson. I mean, they get the best perfumers, don't they? And this one is a little bit surprising for a Le Labo scent because it is peppery. Spaced Out says, Poivre 23 is my #1 favorite Le Labo, hands down. And I think, actually, if I had to choose one from these five, it probably would be the pepper, because I like pepper scents. They're quite unusual. I'm drawn to the idea of pepper scents. And I kind of like seeing whether the perfumer has managed to make the pepper last long. My favorite out-and-out pepper scent is still Comme des Garçons black pepper. I remember Marc Jacobs' Bang was really interesting, but the pepper note didn't last all that long there. Poivre Samarkand is shaking somewhere, says Jeff. Essouman says this is one of the better city exclusives. Yeah, I'm with you on this one. So Poivre 23, Pepper 23 is London, and they say Poivre 23 translates into Pepper 23, and it's Le Labo's pepper statement. Why pepper? And we're talking true bourbon pepper, the crown jewel of peppers, because it's the spice of all spices, widely used in perfumery, and we wanted pepper to finally get what it deserves, the limelight. It is very warm, ultra spicy, truly ambery, and it's only for London for most of the year. But they don't really say why it should be for London. JJ Colborne says it comes as no surprise that Nathalie Lorson would compose Poivre 23, given her past usage of ISOE Super. Yeah, I would agree with you on that one. I get lots of resins, says Esumar, not so much pepper. I mean, certainly in the dry down, but that kind of invigorating feel of the pepper is there. Lots of musks, I think. And where the interesting thing with a pepper scent is how it develops. This was sprayed 2.5 hours ago, I think. And let's see what it's doing. Yeah, it's woody, musky, very attractive. These are all perfectly fine. But I mean, what is the price of them now? I don't think I have the prices on this press release. No, I don't. But somebody will be able to tell me what they cost in the UK. I know that the large size city exclusives are just really crazy expensive. Jeff says, I remember Mr. P saying incense and pepper are convincing when they're fleeting. Is this one? Oh yes, because if they're too heavily laden down with musks, I seem to remember saying, then they become a little bit less convincing. This one, I guess this one's somewhere in the middle, and this actually has an incense note as well, I would say. Gavin says, I'm very impressed with Crivelli and think they have a more interesting take on these ingredient-led perfumes. So Joseph is telling us here, £275 for 50 mils. And there's also a really eye-watering, humongous bottle, isn't there? David says, I tend to agree that Gaiac is the most interesting of the exclusives, and it dries down to what for me is a shampoo-like musk. It's a very nice shampoo musk, but that's still where it lands for me. So let's do that one next, because that apparently is also from 2008 and credited to the legendary Annick Menardo, and its city is Tokyo. Love to be able to go back there one day. I wonder if that'll ever happen again. Hopefully it will. Gaiac has only 10 ingredients, supposedly, if its name is to be believed. Here we are. The perfumery sphinx, Annick Menardo. Yes, she is, isn't she? I wonder if I'll ever meet her. I'd love to meet her. So what you get with this is almost like the sort of smell of surgical spirits or ethanol. It's a very clean, very zen type scent. It's like all of those sorts of sci-fi movies with the clean, pristine interiors and people with impassive faces, and everybody either wearing like, pure white or pure black and walking in this kind of very serene android-like way. It's an extremely impeccable and inscrutable sort of scent. It is interesting. And interesting that it came out in the same year as the pepper, because I think they're almost like flip sides of the same coin. You get a kind of pepperiness in the Gaiac, you get a kind of cleanliness in the pepper. It is interesting. It is interesting, this one. They say Gaiac 10. Gaiac is a very hard greenish wood that isn't as dry as cedar, but is a subtle, profound, and stable. Gaiac 10 is a tense formula built on Gaiac wood and surrounded by musk notes, 4 different types in all, with hints of cedar and olibanum. Don't expect this woody musk to leave a perfuming trail from where you are to Hokkaido, unless you're already in Hokkaido. That's not me, that's them. But it will stick on you and with you despite your mood for days and days, nights and nights. And actually that's an accurate description, because it is cedary, it is incensey, it's a little bit peppery. It feels very much like a skin scent. And where is our pre-sprayed blotter? And I promise we are on the last one next, aren't we? Yes, we are. We'll do the Dubai one. Yeah, it's a very clean, understated musk in the dry down, and that's fine. There is a place for those sorts of scents, and if you like those sorts of scents, then I think this one is worth checking out. I mean, to me, it's total sci-fi interior. I'm thinking of the interior of the shuttle that takes the passengers from is it from the Earth to the space station in 2001, and then from the space station to the moon? I forget which way around it goes. All those perfect, beautiful, pristine interiors. The complete sort of opposite end of the spectrum to Blade Runner grubbiness, if you see what I mean. What are your thoughts on Musk 25? Says Sepid. I don't think I know that one. That's attributed to, which one is that? Which city is that for? That's one of the main ones, is it? Well, if I've reviewed it, then it'll be on the list of perfume reviews on Persolaise.com. But off the top of my head, I can't remember it. Oh, Los Angeles. Oh yes, there it is. I don't know that one. Or if I smelt it, then I can't remember it. Really, really sorry. And finally, let's do the Dubai one. I say finally, why do I feel like I've missed one out? No, I haven't. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, here we are. The Dubai one, I think eventually came out in 2012. I remember there were many issues with that one because Le Labo were going to have a Dubai boutique, and then it kind of didn't happen, and then it eventually did. I think it's still there. From memory, it was in Dubai Mall. This is attributed to Nathalie Lorson, credited to Nathalie Lorson. And I remember back in the day when I reviewed it, it made me think of Amouage's things like Epic Man and Interlude Man. There were lots and lots of things round about that time that smelt a lot like Epic Man and Interlude Man. But re-smelling it now, I mean, it could be that my memory's faulty. It could be that my nose was homing in on different things then. It could be that it's been reformulated. But smelling it now, it actually makes me think a lot of Nathalie Lorson's own Encre Noire for Lalique. It's more very musky to me than it is leathery. And it's hot and it's spicy. Again, quite peppery, quite incensey. It is nicely done. Again, it's one of the better city exclusives, but also still really, really expensive. Woozy says, I think Cuir would be a better vetiver than the Le Labo vetiver. Well, there you go. Encre Noire, interesting, says Jeff. I think so with this one. And what do they say about it? Cuir 28, they say, our Dubai exclusive is like a classic motorcycle without the sweat and gasoline, although there is quite a gasoline-y feel to it, blending leather, wood, and musky notes to give it a very powerful, dark, and memorable personality. Natural vanilla absolute, the spicy tar version of the vanilla we know, mixes in with the leather to give Cuir 28 its ambery and addictive finale. So Peter says it's a very elegant, clean. Oh, you're talking about the other musk, a bitter musk perfume. I absolutely love it, and everybody wants to ask me what is my perfume. Well, then you keep wearing it. The only city exclusive I've considered a bottle of, says Dennis, is the Tabac from Miami. But every September I reach the same conclusion. Okay, and I reviewed that one when it came out. I seem to remember being a fan of that one. And where's our pre-sprayed Dubai exclusive? Yeah, it's a strong vetiver musk with that kind of motorcycle-y, gasoline-y leather note, despite what they say. It is good. It is good. But I guess if I had to choose one from this lot, I probably would go, well, from the 5, I've already got that one, right? So I don't have to choose. But from the 5 here, I think I'd probably go for the pepper. Okay, so thank you very much for watching. Please don't forget to come back on Monday, 5 p.m. UK time for a live interview with Carlos Huber of Arquiste. But until then, thanks for all the comments, all the laughs, and I will see you very soon. Thanks for watching. Bye now.